Hey folks, how you doing? I'm here to talk to you about one of the most important shop tools, something that's often overlooked, but sometimes it's the most humble thing, and sometimes they get a little more elaborate. We're going to talk about the pencil. Now before we go on, if you've seen David Picciuto's recent video, yes, I know he talked about pencils. I posted on Instagram a couple months ago talking about pencils I've come over the years to find what I like in the shop, and that differs a little bit from what I like to carry as my EDC pencil. So just so you know, I ran it by Dave. He's cool with it. Let's get to it. Alright, so as you can see here, we see a bunch of pencils. Some are inexpensive, some are a little bit more expensive, and we're going to talk about the different ones and different types. Alright, so one of the reasons I like carrying a pencil around along with a pen is sometimes you just don't want to put everything in your phone, or the phone's not the convenient way to do it. So I carry around a field notes notebook, write notes down there, write down, if I measure something, I just write it down real quick. Carrying this little, this is a Calavera tool, just a leather piece with some holes punched in with some elastic, fabric elastic stuff to keep it in place, but helps protect the cover from ripping off. Alright, so regarding the pencils themselves, we start with the super basic, regular Ticonderoga wooden pencil. Got the facets on the side to keep it from rolling. They come in black as well if you're into the fashion colors, I guess. I don't know, but can't say much more about the regular pencil other than not super convenient as EDC for obvious reasons. The leads will break. Fine in the shop for rough measurements. I tend to prefer a mechanical pencil for more precise work. We'll get to that in just a sec. And then speaking of field notes, they have their own pencil as well. It's supposed to be a little more eco-friendly. There's no paint on it. It's supposed to be biodegradable. I think it's supposed to be biodegradable. What's it say on there? It says bonded lead, lacquer-free, renewable cedar casing, recyclable aluminum ferrule, enviro green degradable eraser. So it's a little more eco-friendly form of your wooden pencil. All right. Now a lot of people kind of have a love-hate relationship with mechanical pencils. I tend to like it for more precise work, as long as you know that the limitations, right? Now this is a 3mm. This is too small, I think. I tend to break the leads on these all the time, so this really gets used. I just want to break for one sec. A couple days ago I was a little bit negative when I recorded regarding the pencils on the .3. One place that really excels is if you have a knife line. Like I put a line into this board, which you'll probably have trouble seeing with my marking gauge. So if you just want to darken that up just a bit, one little score with the .3 makes that line a lot easier to see. So don't reject the .3. It has its use. Now back to our show. My go-to tends to be the .5. This guy right here, and this is a good size for marking out pieces. Don't get it down too hard. Obviously you got a clean mark there. Not much more to say there. What's nice about these is you have the clip here. You can retract the nib. That way it's not easily broken. That tends to be an issue with some of these pencils. And when you push the top in, it locks the nib out, and you can advance the lead. I do have a .7. I don't have it nearby though. I don't use that one too much. I tend to stick with the .5. If it's a situation where I think the lead might break too easy on a .5, I might use a .7, but that doesn't happen too often. Now, there's also a .9mm. There's something special about this one. You can get what's called fabric leads. These are .9mm. These are white. You can get them in different colors too, but I like the .9 for when you would mark on a dark piece of wood like walnut here. It's a lot more visible. Yeah, I will say though, don't push the lead out too far. These do tend to be a soft lead that tend to break easy. But as you can see, nice light mark. You can even more easily see it on a dark piece of wood. All right, the one thing I would say about the graph gear though is here's one that I EDC'd for quite a while. You can see the writing's kind of off it, but I don't recommend it for EDC. This clip here is almost all the way broken off. That's way too much play there, so great for the shop, not so much for EDC. All right, next up, this is the Pentel P209. This is a 0.9 millimeter. They come in 0.7, 0.5. They come in different sizes as well. This one's kind of more sentimental to me, the 0.9. My dad was an engineer when he worked, and after he passed away, I found a ton of these in the house. So I remember as a kid doing like math homework with these guys, so I always keep one of these around just more for sentimental reasons. And a lot of these under the cap, I forgot to show you in the other Pentels, but they have an eraser underneath the cap. Now, when I talked about EDC, one of the ones I EDC'd for a while also was this Roach Train 800. This is a 0.5 millimeter. I liked the form factor where it had the facets here so that you can put it down and wouldn't roll around. It had a retractable nib. You can see here that you actually turn this to extend the nib and then use your button here. What I found though that I didn't like about this one is it would break leads often just being in the pocket. It must have been just enough stress being in the pocket that I would always break leads. So that meant I stopped using this as my EDC pencil and I started looking for other options. This one though it's a higher end drafting type pencil though. It's pretty pricey. This is probably the highest end pencil out of the bunch. You can get it from Amazon as well, and I'll have links in the description for all of these. So here we have another Roach Train. This is called the Rapid Pro. This is another 0.5 millimeter. All the Roach Trains are really high quality, but they are a little more pricey because of it. They're all metal construction, but very high quality. Very useful like in the drafting world and whatnot. Again, this one has a retractable nib as well. The Rapid Pro is probably their least expensive model, and then they have like the 600 and the 800 I just showed you is their more high-end model. So if you don't want to go that high-end though, there's plenty of options like in the lower price point, which are also quality. This is a Uni Kuru Toga, and they make a few different versions of these. What's unique about these is that they claim to sort of, even though they're mechanical, you notice if you use a mechanical pencil, they'll tend to flatten on one side. Like if I extend this guy out and then just do this, you notice that the line is just fatter because I'm not rotating the lead at all. And say I turn it, you get much thinner lines until it starts flattening on one side of the lead. So their solution there is every time you tap, you're writing letters or whatever, it'll turn this mechanism inside to keep the lead rotated. So if I do this, I don't know if you can see that, there's a little icon right there, a little loopy icon thing. But as I write, that has rotated almost all the way around. And all three of these models do it. They were all different versions of the same Uni Kuru Toga, they call them. What I like about these two is that they're inexpensive, they are plastic housing, but they do retract so the nib isn't easily broken, which is a little different than this one here, which is actually a little bit nicer model of the Kuru Toga, but the nib is always exposed, so you got to be aware of that if you're going to try and carry it around. But they are nice pencils. So I mentioned for EDC, I found a different solution that I like. So I have a favorite for the shop and a favorite I like to carry around, and that's what they call a 2 millimeter lead holder. So it's almost like a regular pencil, wooden pencil lead, but as a lead that inserts into the body of one of these. They look like mechanical pencils, but they're considered lead holders. And there's ones here that, they'll advance like a regular mechanical pencil, but you see how that lead is a lot thicker. So you can get that to focus. That's a lot thicker. So you can extend it as far as you want. So if you want to, do more of a side thing there, you could do that. This is the Roach Train Rapid Pro 2.0, meaning it's a 2.0 millimeter lead. The only downside with these is that you do need to sharpen them, and this one here, while it claims to have the sharpener in the cap, I found that sharpener nearly useless. So what you can buy though, these are like very, very small money on Amazon. It's just like a little mini pencil sharpener. And I have it on a little keychain thing here, but I keep this in the shop, and this works better than the cap. So you just insert it into the insert there and just sharpen it up, and you're good to go. So I keep one of these in the shop, and because I do EDC, one of these things as well, I keep one on my keychain as well. So that's the Rapid Pro one. That's I like this one a lot. This one usually stays either in the shop or near my desk. The one I EDC the most though, this is the Roach Train 600 one. And what I like about this one is if you just hold your hand out, you don't have to advance it. It just kind of drops out. Just put it to the length that you want, and draw away. As you can tell, I am not in any way an artist, but it's just to get some ideas down. And then when you're done, all you need pops back inside. It has a nice clip, goes in the pocket. Now, these are probably maybe $20 and $30 each, somewhere in there. That's a guesstimate. I'll have links to these on Amazon in the description as well. If you want something similar at a little less price point, this is a Staedtler 2.0, and they make the 0.5, 0.7 type mechanical pencils as well for these, but this is also one of the 2mm lead holders. So, and it feels nice. It feels like it's all metal, and this is about 10, 11 bucks. So if you want something a little less expensive, I think this is a great option to go with as well. So there you have it. My favorite EDC and my favorite shop pencil. Alright, one more thing I forgot to show you when I was showing you those 2mm lead holders is the regular mechanical pencils behind the cap is an eraser. In this case, I mentioned there was a pencil sharpener on the Roach Train here, which was nearly useless in my opinion. Didn't really sharpen it at all. The other two, the Roach Train 600, which I carry with me, does not have an eraser, so I actually carry a little small eraser in my pocket for that very purpose. Little eraser there. Then the Staedtler here, that also no eraser under the cap. So I think it's a pretty standard rule that the 2mm lead holders don't have erasers in them. Some of them will have pencil sharpeners in the cap, and some of them will just have the place where you insert another lead when you're ready for the next one. So just wanted to point that out. Alright folks, I hope you enjoyed that one. Obviously it's a bit of a rabbit hole. I geeked out about it. It was an evolution over the course of a couple years of finding what my favorite shop pencil, which is right now the Pentel Graph Gear 1000 0.5mm, and then my EDC favorite, which is the Roach Train 600 2mm. And that may change over time. New things come out, you try them out. But yeah, who thought pencils would be such a thing that I can geek out about? Hope you enjoyed it. Take care.